Hey royal family, we're visiting the art museum in Aarhus, Denmark. Aarhus is the second largest city in Denmark, next to the capital, which is the largest one, of which is Copenhagen in Denmark. It's about 2.5, 3 hours, depends on the traffic to go in. To get into the museum, it's about 25 US dollars at the time. The plus thing about it is that because it's such a large museum, about 10 floors of art and entertainment, if you do not finish the tour and you would like to come back the second day, you get to use that same ticket. You don't have to buy another ticket for you to enjoy the rest of the museum. One of the main highlights of the museum is the rainbow circle. This rainbow can be seen miles within the city, so it's one of the most attractive highlights that you want to visit, and your curiosity will make you want to know what it is about. Once you get into the museum and get into the rainbow, it's a very beautiful thing to see the buildings in the different colors that you transition to. You can see most of the architecture, you can see a very far distance. I think most of the because it's, even though it's the largest or the second largest city in Denmark, it's not that large. Like, you can really finish the city within 2 hours walking. So you can really see a very good distance in the city from that particular building. It's very beautiful. You can see the port, the shipping port. You can see the churches, some of the highlighted schools, and most of what you will see from that angle is one of the things that make the small city so beautiful, because you can see the full layout of how to maneuver if you're traveling on foot or on bicycle. So outside the rainbow circle, or below the rainbow circle, is a garden where you can still again see the city of Aarhus, but they have an area where they have like concerts, which luckily for me, I was able to see the jazz concert the second visit that I was there, which you'll see further down in the video. So it's one of those places that is very relaxing. There are a lot of benches, so it's typical, like we will say, a rooftop in the States. So it's a rooftop museum where you can relax. There are benches there. There's a bar that is set up, but the bar was open when they were doing the jazz festival or the jazz concert that they had. Once you get inside the museum and looking at the display, I decided to work my way from the top to the bottom. So I went all the way to the rainbow circle and then worked my way down. Each floor has something that, if you're an art lover or art appreciator, you will find something that draws you. Also, it's kid friendly. Some of the displays are kids friendly, especially the floor with the comic, I guess you would call those like comic designs or comic art or illustrations. So that floor is very interesting to and get a good viewpoint where kids could understand it. But I'm not going to talk much in this video. It's more for those people who love art and would like to enjoy it. But it's, like I said, it's definitely one of the places that is worth visiting if you're an art lover, if you like scenic buildings or scenic views, this is one of the buildings that you should definitely check out in Denmark. The art on this floor, believe it or not, was not a lot, but they use the space. They literally build like a little mini hut, and it's called a home. I really didn't get what it was about, but it's one huge room with this big hut inside of it. So again, it's a matter of the mind and how you view art and look at it and interpret it. But to each its own. But if somebody ever goes there and you get the idea behind it, please let me know. Yes, there is a description of the art, but the meaning sometimes is not told, or the interpretation is not told by the artist. So I guess you, the viewer, would have to come to your own conclusion what it means, what it depicts, or what it messages is sending to the mind. So if you figure it out, let me know. The boy's sculpture is 16 feet tall. It's one of the main highlights that most people go to look at, because you can take a picture with it as well as you can gauge how tall or short you are. For me, it was about 3 times my height. So it was very interesting to see it. I'm still trying to figure out how they got it inside the museum. By the time I was done with the first half of the museum, I was really tired. So I definitely had to come back the following day, because it's a lot of art. It's a lot of art space. So when you get on the 4th floor, which is the main floor, the entrance, you can still take the elevator or escalator to go 3 more floors to view more art that is there. And it's very fitting that some of the art that is down at the bottom floor are scary looking. Like, a lot of them have scary movie vibes to it, so it's kind of fitting, but there's a few that weren't. This was one of my favorite floors to go on with the art animation, or I guess cartoon or illustration. I'm not sure the right terminology, but they use a lot of the Marvel type characters to bring awareness to world issues in them. So you may look at it and just thinking, oh, it's Marvel or it's Superman or whatever it is, but if you look carefully, you'll see that there's a message that is being depicted. Most of it is about world hunger and crime, pollution. So if you're not paying attention, you were just thinking, oh, it's a nice art, similar to like a comic book, but it really isn't. There's a message within that. So that particular floor really stood out for me. Maybe it's the colors, I don't know, but I really like that floor. Floor 0. This is really worth going down that floor. It really depicts what it says. Floor 0. It's dark, it's scary feeling, it has an eerie feeling about it, as well as the art was kind of scary. So if you went down there by yourself, you may want to have the courage to just be mindful, because a lot of the rooms are dark and it's much quieter down there, and then the displays are a little out there. They're a little scary, some of them. So yeah, this is one of the rooms where your heart may be racing because you don't know what you're gonna see in any of the rooms, if you see anything, because a lot of them are really, really dark. These pieces have a lot of Halloween, scary Friday the 13th vibe to it. Literally, like there were dolls that had scary faces, there were skulls, there were cats. Yeah, if you're into that black art or dark art, you may like this floor. I wasn't too fond of it because it, again, I don't know, maybe it didn't speak to my energy, but it's one of those things where you're like, okay, where is the person going with it? But if you're into, I guess, gothic in Halloween or anything that has like that dark humor or dark art, this one is for you. This was a pleasant surprise on my second day back at the museum. Again, like I told you, I didn't have to buy another ticket. The ticket was good for 2 days. And when I went back to the circle or the rainbow circle, I heard music, or I saw the musicians from within the circle. So I decided to go down to see what it was about. There was no cost, however, there was drinks, and if you wanted to get some wine or beer, it was available. I didn't stay long because it was getting really windy and I didn't have a jacket, but the music was good and it's my type of vibe. It's very relaxing. So hopefully if you ever visit Aaros, you may be able to partake in one of these concerts. After 2 days of the art museum, it's finally over. Not in a bad way, because it was very entertaining and educational. So it's not in a bad way. I stopped in the gift store to see what their gift store was like. Most of the pieces that they have were duplicate and small replicas of the art that is on display, and they have it not only in painting form, but they had it on mugs or plates or shirts, some of the bags. So some of the art that if you saw you might have liked, you could have purchased it. The prices were reasonable, but I didn't get anything because I really didn't have the space to carry. But if I was supposed to go back to Denmark, I would definitely get a few pieces out of the gift store because there were really, really nice things in there. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, share, and like.